what would the mean be? Yeah, very good. So my mean was 49.64. So like I said, my mean showed that most people were intermediate, meaning they're morning or night people. So one of the inherent problems in my study was that maybe my morning and evening scale wasn't sensitive enough. So when I do a follow-up study, I have to look at how can I better differentiate these people and separate them out so I'm not getting that big lump in the middle. And standard deviation was 7.28. Does anyone know what a standard deviation is? Not quite, kind of.
It's the average, like from the mean, like the average.
Exactly. So if you have a bell curve, the mean is right in the middle, and it's just steps away from the mean, which you may learn about more in another class. A whole lot of time. So for the results, 2 times more stereotypes were found for morning people compared with evening people. Out of 101 traits, 46 were found statistically significant. So what that means is people really were thinking that night people were lazy. People really were thinking that morning people were more hardworking. So here is some examples of some of the stereotypes that we found. So as you can see, for morning people, stereotypes were, they're punctual, they take more responsibility for their own actions, they're healthy, they're moral, they're rational, psychologically healthy, and realistic. So what does that mean for me if I'm a night person? Basically, I'm scared. So for evening people, we found stereotypes such as they're messy, they use alcohol, they're impulsive, they're lazy, they're popular, rebellious, and use illegal drugs. So in contrast to the large number of stereotypes that were found, only 4 out of the 101 real difference traits were found to be statistically significant. So that means that out of 101 stereotypes, 4 were actually true, based on our study. And here they are. So for the real differences, morning people actually did report to be more punctual than evening people, which is true for me. I have a hard time with punctuality. So, and it's funny because a lot of times they call research research because scientists like to kind of study what is wrong with them. So for evening people, we found they did report to be more lazy, drink more alcohol, and use more illegal drugs. Now, why could that be? Party, yeah. So we could have a compound that makes people like to party more. Yeah. And morning people might just get too tired. So morning people were perceived more intelligent, but a real difference is found that evening people reported a higher intelligence. So that kind of told me what? Maybe evening people think more highly of themselves, they're more narcissistic, kind of playing back to what Courtney was talking about. We don't know. So that would involve further study. So in conclusion, evening people tend to be perceived more negatively than morning people. Overall, morning people were perceived more positively and with more perceived stereotypes than evening people. So they have more stereotypes in general and they were more positive. So whether you're a morning or evening person, personality tends not to be affected. So whenever we do research, we kind of look at limitations. And correlation does not equal causation. Does anyone know what that means?
Everybody should. Oh, you did?
Exactly. So what you said is just because 2 things are related, it doesn't mean that one affects the other. So the classic example we use is that there are more murders in the summer. So what does that mean? Like if people eat more popsicles, they murder more people? Well, that's a correlation, but what it means is that, it's brighter out longer, it's hot, we're out more, there's more murders. So another limitation is that I'm only looking at college students. What's the difference between college students in like the average population. Age, what else? Job, stress, lack of sleep, family. Yeah, there's a ton of different limitations to only working with one population. So further studies would need to be done looking at more of the general population to really get a good gauge on whether this is true or not. So what does all of this mean? What's the point of this? Well, negative stereotypes may influence jobs. So, for example, I made coffee for a number of years, and so I had to wake up at 4 in the morning. I'm an evening person, and that was very difficult. And, if I didn't drink, 4 shots of coffee in the morning, I wasn't going to be awake, and I wasn't going to perform adequately, which could affect my job. It could affect whether I, keep my job. And if an employer asks, like, oh, are you a morning person, and you say no, are you going to get that job? So what some companies are doing is actually customizing the schedule for employees. So Microsoft, for example, has started letting employees choose when they come in and when they leave. So I really want to sign up for that. Because, if you're a night person, you're going to get more done at night. You're going to have more energy at night. So why not work in the evening? So another implication would be high expectations for morning and evening people. So if you think that morning people are all that, are you going to expect that? Oh, I thought you were a morning person. You're not working very hard, are you? But evening people might get away with a little bit more. So for future directions, looking at different populations would be something I want to do. Another factor would be humility versus narcissism. So all of these are through self-report. I think I'm this way. I think I'm that way. Well, do you think you're actually greater than you actually are? Or are you being more humble than you actually are? So maybe I want to look at, are morning people more humble than evening people? And that will conclude my presentation.